like the banks already have been for God knows since forever.
And AI leads them. So I mean, if you start with a criminal, AI may not be able to assuage their morals when they're dealing with their customers. But when you're starting with a criminal, AI is just like it's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a fun day today. What did my wife say to me this morning? Well, I have a place to take it out on, so I'm not worried about what my wife says.
Since I've been trying to get through to the PNC blockheads, Russian communist-like blockheads, and that's what they're like at PNC. And now the other company, you know, and every other big corporation I deal with is the exact same. It's not just Amazon; it's everybody that I have to deal with. If I have to, I avoid now. I've gone back to the way I was while I was working, and I didn't have a second of time to complain about customer service personnel, and I'm just not complaining at all anymore. It's like they started creating issues just so I would call them, because I was educating them about my Saving the World blog and what's going on in the world, and it's like then they started getting worse and worse just to get me to call in more. So I quit calling Amazon about their customer service department. But I think that's what the businessmen are doing with China. They're getting
or any complaint, even if I have a difficulty with the way their AI is treating me and the way things are, the way I get glitches in using their, I don't bother anymore.
They're getting we the people, Americans, to destroy any good policies that they have for we the Chinese people, because that's what's going to happen when they break that system. When they break their penal system down, it's just going to be like it is with. If I have to, I avoid now. I've gone back to the way I was while I was working, and I didn't have a second of time to complain about customer service personnel, and I'm just not complaining at all anymore. It's like they started creating issues just so I would call them, because I was educating them about my Saving the World blog and what's going on in the world, and it's like then they started getting worse and worse just to get me to call in more. So I quit calling Amazon about their customer service department. But I think that's what the businessmen are doing with China. They're getting we the people, Americans, to destroy any good policies that they have for we the Chinese people, because that's what's going to happen when they break that system. When they break their penal system down, it's just going to be like it is in the United States, and it's going to be all game.
It helps to create a middle class, but it's at the expense of the unprivileged. It smashes things together towards the middle, because the bullies, you know, the criminals make things worse, and they prevent us from working. They actually prevent us from working, so they get more overtime, and they get bigger jobs because the politicians have to keep the middle class going, so they'll keep making bigger jobs, and they look at us as do-nothings. People just drop out and resort to drugs and alcohol because they can't get past the bully in their neighborhood or in their home or in their family. And you want us all to be part of this village, right? And have friends. And if you're not part of that, if I went for a job today, I wouldn't have a single reference. There is nobody I can call. Not a single person. And I'm the best Christian I know.
It's going to be all Colosseum, and the people, the good people that need to be protected, system, when they break their penal system down, it's just going to be like it is in the United States, and it's going to be all game. It's going to be all Colosseum, and the people, the good people that need to be protected from bullies will no longer have that. And the diagnostic value in being a guinea pig for...
This is another point for another factor of how just being guinea pigs is another reason to give severely disabled people a viable income.
It's just one little piece of what disabled people are contributing to. I mean, geez, if it wasn't for healthy people
It's a joke.
mimicking disabled people for a pity party to get more out of the privilege, they probably would have never felt so bad that they had to invent computers for a prosthetic for themselves. There's other reasons.
So, the privileged invent all these prosthetics for themselves, which every technology is just another prosthetic, whether it's social, emotional, or physical. They're all prosthetics. Even religion is a prosthetic for handling the unknown. Oh, we're so scared. We have to put this somewhere. And all my people are scared. They don't even care that I have the most fatted cows anymore. They're just terrified. So they invented religion because of that. So every new technology is just used as an inquisition for we the people's unprivileged people. And only universal affirmative action can bind the whole world together to obliterate this oppression. And really, it would be fair everywhere, all the time, every day. And I think bullying would just melt away on its own largely. But in the beginning, the really bad ones are going to have to be dealt with, and you could use AI to stop them in their tracks from even purchasing things. They'll have to be nice to somebody else to get them to do their buying for them. Right now, they do it to me. They inhibit my ability to purchase when they think I'm doing too much of something. Well, I don't care what you think my priorities should be. Well, I do. Sometimes I pay attention to them, and I do filter it, and sometimes I use some of it. But they do too much, and they steal things from the house too. I don't know how they do that. They steal things out of my house. Whoever these people are, that's probably the privileged mobsters that steal things from your house and do the raping, and use and pose as the avatar. Maybe they're posing as avatars for people like Obama and Bill Clinton and Jimmy Carter, who have supposedly, raped or at least fondled me through the psycho-ROTC. So I don't know if that's mobsters doing that, or if it's. I think some of these people do participate, because I believe it was Hillary Clinton's avatar or her in first grade that when the nun asked us, this is just brand new kid in first grade. It was within the first couple months of first grade, and the nun asked us if we could imagine ourselves as president. And I thought about it, and at first I said no, that's just big-headed to even imagine that. But then I sat there and I thought, well, I know I have the heart and compassion to do the right thing for all the people. And at that point, a voice said, I'm going to be the first female president. And that scared me. That scared the bejeebers out of me. And I think that was Hillary Clinton's avatar. And look what happened to her. And look what happened to some of my other bullies in the neighborhood. Denise Mancini has cancer. Sandy Skender got cancer. Now this Bob Dombrowski, he's got something going because he has to use a cane now. He's a lot younger. He's at least 10 years younger than I am. And he's using a cane. He still goes out in his garden and he's still burning firewood like a maniac. And I'm still spending thousands of dollars because of his firewood burning that he saves $300 a year for. So these people are getting cancer, and some of them do get their due, but not enough of them. And it's not anywhere near the pain that they caused me for 62 years and all the other people that are psychologically bullied out of voting their conscience, and we the people in general being bullied out of their even being candidates that you could vote your conscience on. They're not even there. Who is out there binding everybody together globally? Nobody. And that's what we need, folks. This is madness, and it just always leads to war. It builds up, and we go back to war. And we blame another country for our problems. And we bang heads, it's a caveman, banging each other on the head. There are good reasons for war, and my plan is not against war. It's for war that will bring about a tide of universal affirmative action to wash away all of the DNA that we have in this world today of libido and territorialism, which is the crux of the consumption rampage, which is killing all we the people's unprivileged and the environment at the same time. Remember, folks, plants are your weakest link. Don't you see Max Thunderdome at the end of the weakest link of your hatred for the weakest link? Plants are free. They're free, but they're the weakest link. And deep down, the privileged, greedy people hate them for being free, and the weakest link, and not being able to work for them. If you're alive, you should be working. You should be getting up and serving her breakfast. Well, maybe not that far, but it has possibilities, doesn't it? The Venus vibe trap. Maybe that was developed by the Egyptians or somebody towards that goal. Maybe that was a creation of some other generation of men. So with that, I'll leave you. Please read the blog at blogger.com. We the People blog number 14A. That's 7 times 7, right? Or 2 7s, 14A. So I hope this helps, and I hope people get on board. Have a nice day and join the cause.